Tonight, tragedy in the Dominican Republic. 2 Sunwing guests from Canada die in a bus crash. Ski fatality. What happened when a Calgary teenager died from an avalanche? And lamentation and celebration.
As messed up as it sounds, yes, because unfortunately it's our only hope.
Calgary's Iranian community reacts to attacks in their homeland.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Sean Burnett.
Good evening. There are new developments tonight in a tourist bus crash in the Dominican Republic involving Sunwing guests. Authorities in that country now say 2 Canadian tourists were killed and 13 others were injured. 8 of the injured are male and 5 female between the ages of 37 and 72. That's according to Dominican Republic's National Health Service. The crash happened last night near the coastal community of Cumiasa. That's about an hour's drive west of Punta Cana. Dominican Republic authorities say the bus slid across a road and 2 passengers were transferred to a specialized trauma hospital. The area is a popular destination for Canadians. Calgary-based WestJet, which operates Sunwing, says the bus was operated by a third-party provider, Nexus Tours. It carried Sunwing Vacations guests from the Punta Cana airport to their hotels in the coastal town of Juandolio. The Canadian Embassy in the Dominican Republic says we are aware of a tourist bus accident involving Canadians in the Dominican Republic and are in contact with local authorities. We recognize the stress this situation may cause, impacted individuals and loved ones, and are providing consular assistance. And tonight, Nexus Tours provided a statement to CTV News saying, "We deeply regret the tragic incident involving the bus transferring Sunwing guests in Punta Cana. Our hearts go out to the families and loved ones affected. At this moment, we are cooperating fully with local authorities and WestJet Sunwing to provide support to all impacted guests." Lethbridge police are investigating a collision between a vehicle and a pedestrian. It happened at 13th Street and 3rd Avenue North at about 4:30 this afternoon. Police shut down the southbound lanes and didn't reopen them until 8 tonight. Police are not releasing info on how serious the injuries are, saying those details will come tomorrow. A 15-year-old Calgary boy is dead after being caught in an avalanche at Nakiska ski area. It comes as Avalanche Canada warns of dangerous conditions in the mountains. Emilio Razdira was swept up in Friday's avalanche with a fellow 15-year-old skier. The Rabbit Hill Ski Club says they canceled a race because of 15 to 20 centimeters of fresh snow that make conditions too dangerous if a skier were to go off course or crash. It's then that Razdira and a friend went skiing in another inbounds area. An Avalanche Canada report says they were boot packing up a slope, hiking up the hill carrying their skis. They triggered an avalanche which buried Razdira and partially buried the other teen who escaped. Razdira was rescued and transported to Children's Hospital in critical condition, but he died on Saturday. He is mourned by his fellow Lake Louise Ski Club and Alberta Alpine Ski Association friends, along with classmates at Queen Elizabeth High School. Meanwhile, Avalanche Canada warns anyone heading to the mountains to be aware of considerably dangerous conditions.
During these tricky, dangerous conditions, more than ever, it's important that if you're going out into the backcountry, it's important to get the training, the gear, and the forecast. All 3 of those things are always critical, and right now, really having a good understanding of the forecast will help you pick safe terrain right now.
Resorts of the Canadian Rockies says it is conducting a full investigation. There was also a deadly avalanche in BC on the weekend. RCMP say a 23-year-old snowmobiler died after a slide in the Kootenay Pass near Creston Saturday afternoon. According to Avalanche Canada, 2 snowmobilers accidentally triggered a slab slide on a slope under a transmission line. The avalanche danger rating in that area is currently considerable. Calgarians will return to water restrictions next week. Starting next Monday, the city will adopt Stage 4 water restrictions for 4 weeks as the Bears Paw feeder main is drained and several sections of the pipe are reinforced. The city is asking people to shorten showers, not start the dishwasher until it's full, and flush toilets only when needed. Outdoor water use will not be allowed. The mayor also wants people to help spread the word.
One of the biggest challenges during the previous emergency was awareness. Many Calgarians didn't realize we were under Stage 4 water restrictions. So this time we're asking you to not only conserve, but to communicate. So please talk to your family, talk to your neighbors, share updates with your friends.
More water restrictions are expected again in the fall as the city works on building a permanent replacement for the Bears Paw feeder main. Meteorologist Danielle Savoni's here with our first look at the forecast. Earlier today, Danielle, pretty gorgeous outside.
Yeah, today was stunning.
More of the same in the short term?
Similar for tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow likely won't be quite as bright. We have a little more cloud cover on the way for tomorrow, but temperatures will be pretty close. We got up to 12 degrees today. Tomorrow you're looking at a high of 10, 0 to kick off the day. Mainly cloudy in the morning, and then there should be more sunny breaks in the afternoon. By the afternoon, though, the winds will pick up at times, gusting out of the southwest up to 50 kilometers per hour. Later this week, we do have a little bit of snowfall in the forecast and somewhat cooler temperatures. We'll talk more about that just ahead.
Okay, thanks very much, Danielle. The U.S.-Israeli war against Iran is having an impact here in Calgary. While one group laments the attacks, thousands of others from Calgary's Iranian community gathered at City Hall on the weekend to celebrate the death of Iran's supreme leader and several other top officials. Kevin Green reports.
Shame, shame, Trump! Shame, shame, Trump!
Hand in hand with war come anti-war protests, like this one Sunday morning.
I don't think any country has a right to go invade another country and take their leaders.
Yeah, this is the biggest party we ever had in 47 years. We are so happy!
But it's not often an ongoing war sparks a party. In a much larger rally Sunday, thousands in Calgary's Iranian community celebrated the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and the potential for the overthrow of the Islamic regime in Iran.
As messed up as it sounds, yes, because unfortunately it's our only hope. The Israeli intelligence as well as the American military is the perfect combination right now to end this regime.
Most in the celebratory crowd believe Reza Pahlavi, the son of the former Shah of Iran, will eventually lead the country.
The people are going to be choosing their own government by election. And we have a leader, Prince Reza Pahlavi. He's going to be running for temporary as a transition government, and after that election from the people.
The dictator's dead. Everyone's happy. Why shouldn't we?
While agreeing there's cause to celebrate, military and strategic studies professor Rob Hubert warns regime change is never easy or guaranteed.
It's hard to find examples where even when you lose your top leadership, that the regime itself implodes or collapses. Usually what happens is that it gets replaced by people that are even more ruthless.
Canada supports the United States acting to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has voiced support for the strikes on Iran, but Monday, Canada's foreign minister said the country would prefer a negotiated solution.
We share the concern of the United States and many other countries relating to Iranian nuclear proliferation. At the same time, we prefer a diplomatic solution.
Anand says she's been talking with many of her global affairs counterparts around the world, but under questioning admitted many of them don't think a diplomatic solution is possible at this time. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The impact of the conflict is already being felt by Alberta's energy sector. Oil prices have surged since the conflict began, just days after a provincial budget that forecast a massive deficit. As Tyler Barrow explains, the province isn't banking on a massive change in energy revenue just yet.
Last week, the province unveiled its $9.4 billion deficit budget, notably due to low oil prices. Little more than a day later, the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran, triggering an oil crisis, something the province didn't include in its forecast.
We want the conflict to end quickly with minimal loss of life. We're watching with interest about what our friends and allies are going to need.
As of Monday afternoon, it was sitting at over $71.50. Iran exports approximately 1.6 million barrels of oil a day, but tanker traffic is now disrupted.
China relies on Iran for getting a lot of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, which of course is now pretty much frozen.
The impact goes beyond oil, as 20% of liquefied natural gas is also trapped behind the Strait of Hormuz, while the waterway is also a key route for fertilizer.
There's that newfound opportunity to reestablish ourselves as a reliable supplier of both LNG and oil.
Alberta is also a major producer of LNG. U.S. President Donald Trump has stated the U.S. could be involved in the conflict for over 4 to 5 weeks.
The longer that it lasts, the more that it supports Alberta's budget.
But what's good for the province might not be for consumers.
As oil prices go, so do gasoline prices. And so it's inevitable that at some point gasoline prices are going to rise.
Smith says the current year's $4.1 billion deficit might be somewhat lower, but to balance the books for the upcoming year, the premier said oil would need to average $74 a barrel. The finance minister said it is too soon to gauge the overall impact.
We want to have conservative forecasts. We do want the potential for upside for the province.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The Premier says the conflict speaks to the need for a new West Coast pipeline to provide a stable source of oil. An explosion and fire at a battery-making business. And a cheerleading gym next door unsure about its future. More on this story is coming up. A woman was hurt and a dog died in a house fire overnight. It broke out in the home in the southwest community of Shaganappi. When fire crews got there, 2 people were performing CPR on the woman. She was revived and taken to hospital. Firefighters responded to McMahon Stadium last night when large flames broke out on the east side of the home of the Stampeders. A garbage can caught fire and spread to the wooden gable covering the suite access entrance. Firefighters extinguished the blaze quickly, and it did not get inside the stadium. A portion of the side of the stadium was left scorched. No one was hurt. A rooftop heating unit may have been the cause of high carbon monoxide levels at a northeast condo today. Firefighters were called around 8:30 this morning to Saddlestone Way. When crews arrived, they found readings as high as 150 parts per million on the top floor of the building. For comparison, a CO alarm typically goes off when levels are around 50 parts per million. About 70 people were forced out of their homes, but no one was injured. An explosion and fire in the Northeast yesterday is highlighting the dangers of lithium-ion batteries. Just before noon, an explosion happened at a business that makes batteries. The fire department says lithium-ion fires require much more water and produce more toxic smoke than typical property fires. No one was seriously injured, but more than a dozen people were assessed for inhalation at the scene. Most were young athletes and their parents who were at a cheerleading practice next door.
So we have severe smoke damage in the gym. Everything's covered in smoke. We can't even enter that without a mask. There's no real estimated time. I'm looking at possibly months to never returning.
The cheerleading club is now looking for space for its 300 athletes to train. It's not clear yet what caused the explosion. The province is investing $59 million over 3 years to improve cardiac and intensive care in southern Alberta. The funding, announced in last week's budget, is directed to Lethbridge's Chinook Regional Hospital and the Medicine Hat Regional Hospital. The money will allow work on a catheterization laboratory in Lethbridge to move into next phases of planning and early construction. It will also improve intensive care capacity with an additional 34 ICU beds in Lethbridge and 8 more in Medicine Hat. Mortality rates for cardiac cases are 30% higher in southern Alberta than the rest of the province. It's also the leading cause of death in the south.
This project brings life-saving specialized critical care and increased capacity to Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and southern Alberta.
For years, too many patients and families here have faced a stressful reality. In the most urgent moments, care often means transfer, time on the road, and being far away from home and support and their families.
Lethbridge's cardiac catheterization lab is expected to serve between 1,500 and 1,700 patients annually. Now, there's no timeline for when the new units will be built and ready. It's been about 6 months since the old Y building in the Beltline in Calgary shut down, but now it's getting a second chance. The Arusha Centre stepped up to make a bid today to see the old Y restored and supported. The social development charity wants the building to be a community centre. The building housed the YWCA from 1911 to 1971, after which it housed various nonprofit organizations. The city is now putting $1 million toward restoration. Supporters say the building is needed to help support surrounding communities.
We're 107 nonprofit organizations that were working out of the building behind me up until September. So there is an incredible grassroots movement bringing answers to some of the most pressing questions that we have in Calgary.
The building was shut down because it was becoming too expensive to maintain. Well, really nice day out there today and some pretty mild temperatures coming tomorrow as well. As we take a look outside tonight, Danielle Savoni will be back in a moment with her full Skywatch forecast.
Well, today was a stunning day in the city. The sun was out. The temperatures, well, we got up to 12 degrees. The wind, relatively calm for the most part. We did plummet around the supper hours because we got a wind shift, started coming out of the northeast, and the temperatures fell below freezing really, really quickly. But for much of the day, it was really beautiful. Check this out. 14 was the high in Pincher Creek, 15 in Lethbridge and Milk River. Medicine Hat, 6 degrees and below freezing through Brooks, Drumheller, Edmonton. All right, here's a look at the winds today. Max was in those mid-60s for Pincher Creek, 44 for Lethbridge, and close to that 40 mark for Calgary. It will pick up for tomorrow, so 90-kilometer-per-hour gusts in this far southwest corner. Lethbridge looking at 70-kilometer-per-hour gusts tomorrow, 50 for Calgary, Brooks and through Medicine Hat as well. So windier day tomorrow overall. This is the system that's been tracking north of us today, bringing snowfall there where we've been dealing with very spring-like weather in the south end. This will track down towards us, and by Wednesday night, we have the potential of seeing a little bit of snowfall as well from the system. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Lunar eclipse tonight. Full totality at 4 a.m. and it looks like the clouds will hold out just until then. So if you did want to take a look, worth a try if that's something you're interested in at 4 a.m. Anyway, all right, then the clouds will really pick up, and by for tomorrow they should break apart in the afternoon hours, but then will be all cloud cover on Wednesday. And then by Wednesday night, you'll see some streamers of snowfall move on through. This could accumulate anywhere from 1 to 3 centimeters is possible in the city, up the QE2 as well to about Innisfail and off to the west. And then it quickly moves out. So it's a late Wednesday and really, really early Thursday type thing. And this is that bullseye area there. Strathmore, Okotoks, Calgary, Airdrie, Red Deer, over to Cochrane. These areas anywhere from 1 to 3 centimeters certainly possible Wednesday night. So for tomorrow, high of 10 degrees. Tomorrow will be fairly similar to today. We'll just see a little more cloud cover, and it'll be a little windier in the afternoon with gusts around 50 kilometers per hour. Then we have that system roll in. A lot of cloud cover for Wednesday, just a high of 2, 6 for Thursday, and again overnight Wednesday into Thursday, 1 to 3 centimeters of snow possible. By Friday, we get back up to 8, and to kick off the weekend on Saturday, you're looking at 15 degrees.
All right, thanks very much, Danielle. British Columbians will spring forward by 1 hour this Sunday for the last time. The province is adopting year-round daylight time, sparking renewed debate about whether Alberta should follow suit. BC will transition to Pacific time, meaning most of the province will match Alberta from November to March. The East Kootenay and Golden regions are the exception and will continue to change their clocks in line with Alberta. BC Premier David Eby says the move will improve overall health, reduce disruptions for families, and provide an extra hour of evening light during the winter.
Doing this spring forward, fall back is not a good thing for our body. So we've been doing this now in Alberta since 1972, and we know there's acute harm that comes with that spring forward in March. Just in the fall, when we fall back, we all get a little bit of extra time, that extra hour, but it's also realigning our circadian clocks with our day-night and with the work schedules.
Premier Daniel Smith says the government will consider whether a similar change is in the best interest of Albertans. We have been asked this in a referendum before, most recently in 2021, when 50.2% of Albertans voted to keep the time change. Though Smith says the question wasn't totally clear and we may revisit it again. The NHL Commish is coming to Calgary. He will see the progress on Scotia Place, while local officials pitch to co-host the World Cup of Hockey. That story's coming up. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman will be in our city tomorrow. He's coming to check the progress of the new event center, but that may not be all. City and provincial officials are pitching a bid to co-host the 2028 World Cup of Hockey. Glenn Campbell reports.
Scotia Place is really starting to take shape and is expected to be ready for the start of the 2027-28 hockey season. And it may already be in line for one of hockey's premier events. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman will be in Calgary on Tuesday to meet with team ownership, tour the arena's construction site, and get an update on the arena's progress. Some are hoping he may even announce that Calgary will be one of the hosts for the 2028 World Cup of Hockey.
Very much in support of a potential bid. I think it would be very exciting to be able to welcome the world for this event, and I understand that there's going to be some more news coming very shortly on that.
Calgary's part of a joint bid with Edmonton to host hockey's best and the next best chance for post-Olympics Canada-US rematch. Premier Danielle Smith confirmed Monday the province has kicked in $15 million to assist with the bid.
It's going to be, I think, the second most watched sporting event in the world when it comes to hockey. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping that the NHL Players Association as well as the owners make a decision for the Calgary-Edmonton bid.
Tourism Calgary's been working hard on the pitch. Hosting this event would be a huge economic boost to the city.
This would genuinely bring visitors from all over the world to come and watch the highest level of best on best hockey. You know, when you start to talk about economic impact for this would be enormous. This would be, north of 200 million type impact.
Farkas says he'll meet with Bettman on Tuesday night at the Flames Stars game, where he hopes to get more details, and that the World Cup of Hockey is just the start of things to come for this city.
Calgary's at its best when we're welcoming the world. We have that Olympic legacy of being able to welcome the world, to be able to come here to compete in Calgary. And as we think about the future prospect of hosting events like this, there's a huge business case. There's a huge economic case to continue to lean in, not just for hockey, but for all other sorts of growth industries.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Bettman will meet the media tomorrow afternoon, but the Flames say there will be no announcement from him at that time. Matt Coronado and Zane Perek were at the Amazon Fulfillment Center as part of a behind-the-scenes tour today. They were both asked about Calgary potentially hosting the World Cup of Hockey at Scotia Place.
The best on best hockey that we've seen recently has been so cool to watch. So I know it's fresh on everyone's mind, and hopefully we get to see more of it soon.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. That new building's going to be pretty cool. So, if they host the World Cup here, I think, hopefully I'll get in to watch.
During the visit, the Fulfillment Center also announced a $5,000 donation to the Calgary Flames Foundation. We will follow up and see what Gary Bettman has to say tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Have a good night.